Hey guys, Probo1701 here, and today we are going to be talking about my argument for why Series 11 of the modern Doctor Who series is the worst series/season in all of Doctor Who. I'm going to make this as objective as possible, but there will be some subjective moments in this as well. But I do firmly believe that Series 11 is the worst season in Doctor Who. In all of it, classic or modern. And I'm going to outline my reason why. And it basically boils down to one simple point, and that's because every other season or series of Doctor Who, that if someone were to come up to me and say, no, such and such series is worse, I could point to a story in it and go, no, it's not because of this. Every other season of Doctor Who has at least one story in it I can point out as being good, as being really good. And in most cases, a masterpiece. Most seasons have at least one masterpiece in it, or one classic story in it. There is an asterisk here. There's about 3 seasons that I will admit are argumentative, and I will mention those when I come across them. They're all in Classic Who. That if someone says, well, I think this series is worse, or this season is worse than Series 11, we could sit down and have a discussion about it. But for the most part, I feel right in stating Series 11 is the worst in Doctor Who history, because it doesn't have a standout story. It doesn't have that one classic story that's going to be remembered 10 years from now. None of them. It has some good stories. You know, you have Kerblam, you have The Ghost Monument, you have Demons of the Punjab, and you have Rosa, which are good stories. They're not great stories. They're not masterpieces. They're not classics. But they're good stories. But that's just it. It doesn't have any of those stories you can just point to and go, that's one of the best Doctor Who stories ever made. Whereas all the other seasons usually have at least one, objectively speaking, in a few cases subjectively. So we're going to be looking at classic Doctor Who and modern Doctor Who. And we're going to go through each season and talk about it. Starting with the very first season with William Hartnell. And in that one you have An Unearthly Child and the Daleks. Season 2, Dalek Invasion of Earth. Season 3, Dalek's Master Plan. All of these classic stories. Moving into Patrick Troughton with Season 4. So many. The 10th Planet. Power of the Daleks. The Moon Base. Evil of the Daleks. Season 5. Web of Fear. Abominable Snowmen. Tomb of the Cybermen. Season 6. The Invasion. The War Games. Season 7. Inferno. Spearhead from Space. Season 8. Terror of the Autons. The Daemons. Mind of Evil. Series 9, The Sea Devils, Day of the Daleks. Season 10, The Three Doctors, The Green Death. Season 11, Invasion of the Dinosaurs, which I haven't seen, but everybody says the story is really, really good. And The Time Warrior, which I've met a few people who don't like, but people usually speak very good of The Time Warrior, which I also haven't seen. Season 12, do I really have to outline Season 12? You have The Ark in Space and, of course, Genesis of the Daleks. Season 13, pretty much the whole season minus the android invasion. You have Terror of the Zygons, the Brain of Morbius, The Seeds of Doom, Pyramids of Mars, all classics. Season 14, you have Robots of Death, Talons of Wing Chiang, Face of Evil. Season 15, Horror of Fang Rock, Image of the Fendal, and The Sunmakers, which is very underrated. Season 16, this is the first one where you hit the asterisk. I don't think there is necessarily a single classic masterpiece in Season 16. I think there are very good episodes in it, though. The Ribos Operation and the Pirate Planet being the top 2, in my opinion. But if you were to say you thought Season 16 was worse, I would at least sit down and we could have a discussion about it and a debate. I don't think there's just a bona fide, amazing, fantastic story in Season 16. But I do think it's still a really good season overall. I know a lot of people really like Stones of Blood as well. Seems to have a pretty good reputation. Season 17, City of Death. Season 18, State of Decay. And while I do think this one's a little underrated, I do think State of Decay is one of Tom Baker's best stories. I think it is a phenomenal story, and I will stand by that. State of Decay is definitely the standout of Season 18, although I do think Keeper of Traken is really good as well. Season 19, Earthshock and Castrovalva. Season 20, this is another one where this depends on how you look at it. If you include the 5 Doctors as part of Season 20, which I do, then the 5 Doctors, because the 5 Doctors is amazing, great multi-doctor story, really, really good watch. Now, if you don't include the Five Doctors as a part of season 20, then it gets a little more spotty. I'd actually listen to an argument on it. I still think Maldron Undead and Enlightenment classify personally, as I do think those are maybe not masterpieces, but still classics. But you could actually sit down with me and we could have a debate about that, an argument about that. But I think if you're going to include the Five Doctors, which you should, boom, Five Doctors masterpiece. Season 21, Caves of Androzani, Resurrection of the Daleks. Season 22, Vengeance on Varos. Or Varos. It's really good. Season 23, this is the final one where if you wanted to sit down with me and argue a season that's worse than Series 11, I'd at least listen. Because there are no standout classics in Season 23. I happen to enjoy several of them. I think The Mysterious Planet is really good. I just did a review on that not too long ago. I think Terror of the Vervoids is really good, especially the trialless version on the box set. And I think the other two stories are decent. But I do think Season 23 is overall stronger than Series 11. But again, that's more subjective than objective. I would actually enter debates about that one. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, we got you now, though, Prowl. We're coming up on Season 24. Yeah, but Season 24 has Dragonfire, and Dragonfire is amazing. I don't care what you say. Here's the thing about Season 24, I'm learning more and more, is a lot of people have a story or two from it they really like. One of the guys on the merchandise forum that I hang out with, Bobby, he absolutely loves Delta and the Bannerman, and I know he's a viewer of my channel as well. And Bobby absolutely loves Delta and the Bannerman as much as I love Dragonfire. I've also met other people who like Paradise Towers a lot. The only one that seems universally disliked, or not necessarily disliked, the only one that people seem to universally agree on is bad is Time in the Rani, which is fair because it's bad. But I've met people that like Delta, I've met people that like Paradise Towers, and I absolutely love Dragonfire. It's a great introduction story for Ace, so I will argue that Season 24 is just objectively better than Series 11. Season 25, Remembrance of the Daleks and the Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Season 26, all of it, because Season 26 is amazing. You have Battlefield, which is fantastic. I absolutely love Battlefield. Season 20, you also have Ghostlight. Ghostlight is amazing. Great script, dripping with atmosphere. Series 11 wishes it could drip with this kind of atmosphere. Curse of Fenric, while I personally think is a bit overrated, still a masterpiece and essential Doctor Who viewing if you were a Doctor Who fan. And of course Survival, which is a great way to end the classic series. Now I'm not going to talk about the Paul McGann movie since that's not a whole season, that's just a movie. Although I still like the TV movie better than anything in Series 11, despite its flaws. Moving into the modern series. Series 1, like the kid with the gas mask, two-parters, the Dr. Dances, Dalek, the two-part finale, Series 2, School Reunion, the Cyberman two-parter, Series 3, Blink, Series 4, no, pretty much most of it. Some people will argue Midnight, even though I don't like it, Turn Left, even though I don't care for it either, but you still have the season opener, which is really good. The name just escapes me at the moment. Series 5, you have The 11th Hour. Series 6, you have The Doctor's Wife and A Good Man Goes to War. Series 7, you still have A Town Called Mercy, Hyde, The Crimson Horror, and The Bells of St. John and The Snowmen. Series 8, you have Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline, which are both really good. Series 9, you have Heaven Sent. Series 10, you have Thin Ice and the Dr. Falls two-parter. And Series 11, you still have the Spyfall two-parter. You have The Haunting of Villa di Dota or whatever. Every single season has that Doctor Who story that I can point at and go, that story proves why that season is better than Series 11. Series 11 is the only single one that I can't just point to a single story that justifies that season's existence. It's the only one. Again, there's some that are debatable. Season 16, I'd talk to you, although I still think Ribos Operation and Pirate Planet are better. I think those are really good stories, even though they're not masterpieces. Series 18, I'll argue State of Decay all day long. I think that's just objectively better than anything in Series 11. Season 20, if you don't include the Five Doctors, I'll listen to arguments, but I still think Maldron Undead and Elizabeth and Enlightenment take it. And Season 23, I think, is the best bet for Series 11 fans if they want to argue. Because while I still think the Mysterious Planet, and some people really like Mind Warped, I have seen people who think Mind Warped is the best story of that season. a good way to go out for Perry if they hadn't retconned it. Although personally, I'm glad they did, but that's another video. And Terror of the Vervoids I actually really enjoy. Once you can get past that regrettable Vervoid design that's hard to unsee once you see it. And again, season 24, I'm going to fight for Dragonfire all day long, just as I know there's people who are going to fight for Delta, and there's people who are going to go fight for Paradise Towers. So that's my thought. That is my argument for why Series 11 is the worst Doctor Who season of all time. I'm not even saying it's bad. It's more mediocre than anything, really. I don't hate it. I just think it's not very good. So what do you think in general? Do you think it's the worst series of all time? Or is there one you think is worse than it? What do you think of my argument and my reasoning behind how I have reached this conclusion? So anyway, comment down below. You know, I always enjoy interacting with you guys, and I always enjoy starting discussions. I would love to see some of you guys discussing this and debating this down in the comments. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click that bell for notifications. I've started a Patreon if you would like to contribute to that, and that gives you all sorts of opportunities like voting in polls, and certain tiers give you access to requesting videos you would like to see me do. So if there's anything you would like to see me review or any topic you would like me to see me do videos on, check that out down in the link below and visit my Patreon page. Most importantly though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.